Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Gamer Logic. This is kind of for my new subscribers as well as my old ones. This is actually the first time that I'm really able to upload in a 1080p format. Normally my videos will be 720p. You'll also see an improvement in video quality for 720p just overall, but I kind of wanted to do another gamer video just to update some people and introduce some new subscribers to my stuff. So I figured I'd kind of start at the beginning and go from there. And the first thing you're taking a look at here is my shoe rack converted over to a controller holder. It is a mess. It needs to be reorganized very, very badly, but this is a really nice idea if you've got controllers, tons of them, and you play a lot of different game consoles. With this, you can actually just put it on your wall. It'll hold the controllers nicely, pretty much any of them, and you just won't have to worry about things, which is really, really nice. This may be a little hard to see with the light I got here, but this is a commission that I had my buddy Hanzo do for me. This is of Parasite Eve. Again, a little hard to see with the light reflecting off it, but very cool piece of artwork. I've featured him in a couple videos. Over here we're looking at my many different video game related action figures. I've got all sorts of stuff. I mean, I got stuff from the Chrono Triggers, the mini arts that they released for them. These are really cool. The original Todd McFarlane Metal Gear Solid figures, some Darkstalkers figures, Final Fantasy stuff, Street Fighter, Mario. I've got tons of stuff here. This is just kind of the general bookshelf for gaming related stuff. On the bottom I have a lot of Sega CD stuff, Sega Saturn and long box PlayStation stuff, just because it really doesn't fit anywhere else. The second shelf you see here right now, it's holding some video game manuals from random consoles, but a lot of my Street Fighter, Darkstalkers comics, the few mangas that I do read, as well as video game stuff based on historical facts, like there of course is Game Over by David Sheriff, Masters of Doom, and some other stuff as well. On the top shelf here we have my favorite art books. These guys at Unin just know exactly what they're doing, but all sorts of stuff. Halo, Gungrave, Serial Experiments Land, tons of Street Fighter stuff, Capcom stuff, Darkstalker stuff, you name it, it's probably there. And of course we got various Halo stuff scattered around the room. You know, I'm starting out, I was a big Halo fan, and I pretty much just collected Halo stuff. I mean, I still have tons of action figures and various merchandise from the games, and eventually I just got tired of it. That's a quick look at some of my Halo stuff there. Back to the next portion of the room here, we kind of take a quick look back, and this is kind of the main gaming wall of the studio here. And of course it's pretty much a stereotype, but for those who collect action figures and like to display them, they pretty much always have these shelves from IKEA, mostly because they're cheap, easy to put together, and they just look damn good. At the top here we have our figures from the Halo Reach Legendary Edition, very cool feature. And I guess we can open this up here to take a better look at the figures I have in here. At the top, this is kind of my Final Fantasy wing. We of course have all sorts of very cool characters: Aerith, Yuffie, Red 13, Kate Sith, Tifa, Cloud on his motorbike. I really, really love this one. I like this figure on the motorbike better than the Final Fantasy Advent Children one. It was just a weird looking bike. Sephiroth, Squall, Vincent, and we go down to our next wing here, and this is kind of more random stuff here, but we got some neat little figures from Capcom here, different versions of Chun-Li. I think with these figures, each one was done by a different artist, so it's kind of neat how they all flow together. Crimson Viper from Street Fighter 4, probably the only Street Fighter 4 figure I actually like. The rest of them are just too weird looking. Cammy, the girl from Heavenly Sword, Claire, a couple more Final Fantasy figures. We go down to the next one, and of course we got more stuff. This is more random stuff. We got Dante from Devil May Cry, Marcus from Gears of War, Guile, Alucard. I love this Maria import figure I got from Japan. Very, very cool, holding an L. It's got Snake here, sneaking up on her. These are kind of old school Metal Gear Solid 2 figures, back when I believe McFarlane was still doing them. And Assassin's Creed and Street Fighter. On the bottom here, you're looking at Halo 3 figures mostly. I got Cortana and a ton of other ones. This thing is a real mess down here. These figures just do not like to stay standing. So eventually I got to figure out a way to stand them up straight. But this entire display case used to be full of Halo stuff. And obviously when I started collecting different stuff, I had to cut down. So I got a lot of Halo stuff in storage. Will I ever sell it? Maybe. You never know. But I like giving it to certain friends that collect it now. To kind of back out again here. This is my first shelf of miscellaneous video games, basically. Mostly retro, though there is some new stuff in here. And this shelf I picked up at Amazon. I was at IKEA trying to find something that would fit my needs, and I really couldn't find anything. So I looked on Amazon, and sure enough I found this thing for a really decent price. And being an Amazon Prime member, I was able to get $3.99 shipping on it, which is always awesome for overnight. And I was able to put this together, and it just works great for hole-on stuff. Here's a couple of my PSP Exceed limited editions, some Neo Geo AES. These are recently just put back out, but this is all like Master System games, is Genesis games here. And of course we got some great Famicom stuff, Home Sweet Home, Kid Dracula, Crisis Force, Metal Storm, some Super Famicom stuff, Secret of Mana 3, Illusion of Gaia, Clock Tower, Super Metroid, Dracula XX, Super Street Fighter 2, Gun Hazard, stuff like that. This is kind of the PlayStation 2 wing here. Then we go back down to PSP. Miscellaneous stuff from here that I got to organize and verify that it's working okay. Lords of Thunder, great game. My TurboGrafx-16 stuff. We go down the shelf again. We go to Sega Saturn, and then we go down to Dreamcast, and then eventually we end up with PS2, and on the very bottom shelf we kind of finish off with all the double disc case PlayStation 1 games. And we look at here, for those of you who haven't seen these miscellaneous statues before of these Capcom girls, I did feature this as an exclusive piece on themikemurdis.com, so you can check that out there. These are, I kind of talk more about them in detail, but this is my next shelf. This is more of the current stuff, Xbox 360 stuff, as well as PS2 and original Xbox stuff. Not all my Xbox 360 stuff is here. Some of it is downstairs where I actually play my 360, as well as my PS3 games and DS games. I just managed to have them downstairs closer to the system. I just have so many 360 games that it's not easy for me to store them downstairs, so I just have them in the game room here. Next up, we're looking at my my first rack of game systems. And on the top here we have a Neo Geo AES, my audio mixer, my first switch box for composite video. We get down to the second one here, and we have a JVC XI, a Genesis Model 2 with a 32X, just because the XI doesn't like the 32X too much. Turbo Duo with flash cart, as well as a Famicom and Famicom disk system. Two NASs. The reason why there's two there is because I'm having issues with one of the 72 pin connectors. I found that out on my last live show. That was highly entertaining. And it's Atari 7800. Let me back out here, and this is my Sega Saturn kiosk. Those of you who've watched these videos before, you know the story. I got it for free, which was very awesome. Had the stock kiosk Saturn in it. Very cool. Absolutely love this thing. Weighs a ton. I guarantee you if you try to pick this thing up, you'll bust a nut. And you may or may not like that, depending if you want to have children or not. I still don't know if I can now after lifting that thing. This next tier of systems here that you see, it's kind of by the window. I'm not a huge fan of having things by the window, but it's either this or it's the games. And I figured this would be a little bit better because at least it doesn't stretch all the way out and I don't have to have the window open all the way in case it rains or whatever. But on the top here, we got a Neo Geo CD. A lot of people complain about this console, but I really love it. The later games rather, are the ones that load like crap, so you have to skip those, but that's what the AES is for, and that's what my arcade is for actually downstairs. Panasonic 3DO, Sega Saturn. My buddy Randy sent me that from Minnesota. Thank you very much, Randy. I really appreciate it. And Action Replay in there, so I could do import games. Sega Dreamcast. The infamous Commodore 64C that I got, that went through USPS hell, but thankfully came on scratched. Jaguar, PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64 on the bottom. So overall, I got a nice choice of systems. I have more systems, but you can only hook up so many of them, and I really hate hooking up systems that just have the RF, excluding the Famicom. It's just a pain, and you can't really do video capture with the RF signal, at least with the video capture I have, so I tend to try to stick with the composite or S-video for the systems. At least the older systems anyway, otherwise I'd like to do composite, or component rather. This next tier is more of my cartridge-based games, the ones that don't have boxes. Got a little Master Chief there. We have the Final Fight Double Impact Press Kit, as well as a extra piece of the Final Fight Press Kit, which is Poison. Temporary hair color for men, women, and everything in between. Little controversy there for that character. Virtual Boy, which I recently fixed. I almost fell. Very nice. And down here is pretty much, like I said, all my console games. I have a few in these drawers here, but this it goes 4 rows basically, and it goes back by 3 spaces. So there's just under 200 SNES games, I believe, here. This recent one that you see here is a repo that I picked up from the Midwest Gaming Classic, Dragon Quest V. Haven't played it yet, but I plan on it. What you see next here is my NES games as well as my Famicom games. All sorts of fun stuff in here, and this is a pain to go through, which is why I love my NES Power Pack. Because as much as I love the games, sometimes it's a pain in the ass to try to go in the back and dig them all out. On the bottom here, we got 32X, Genesis, and 64 games, which are also a pain. Can't wait till a flash cart comes out with that, because going through them can be a pain in the butt sometime, but that's half the battle. We also have got some Jaguar stuff. We've got some EA Sports titles that never fit anywhere. Some Famicom Disk System discs, as well as some Super Famicom stuff. And stuff I haven't shown is there is actually in my closet here that's a huge mess. All my portable stuff, you know, Game Boy Advance, Virtual Boy game packs and everything, but I'll show that off another time. This is pretty much how the room looks when it's nice and clean. And I don't really plan on making any additional big purchases system-wise or anything, so this is probably how it's going to stay like for the rest of the year. So chances are this will be the last game room update, upstairs game room update anyway, for the year. To all my new subscribers, I hope you enjoy the tour, and to all my old ones, I hope you enjoyed the fact that you could watch this in 1080p or 720p. 1080p doesn't work great on my connection. I should really stop blabbing. Peace, guys.